Hi there, Trip Eisenhower with Jaime Diaz, talking about the ageless Robo Pro. He is amazing, this guy. Wins the Cologuard Classic this last week in Tucson, or just outside Tucson, Arizona. We're closing in on it. I didn't think he would get to Hale Irwin. We're speaking about Bernhard Langer, the all-time wins. Mm-hmm. He's got to get to 45 to tie Irwin.
This was 41.
This is 41. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, he's won other than the time that he has won 7 times about 5 years ago. 3 years ago. I mean, the last 2 seasons he's won twice each season.
He's kind of chipping away, but the clock is ticking.
I think he's got to get 2 more this year to pass him.
62, he'll be 63 in November. It's a big ask to start winning 4 more tournaments after the age of 63. I think it's only been done once.
Well, he's already the oldest winner.
I thought Mike Fetchick. No, okay. Yeah.
I think Jay Haas was the previous oldest winner.
All right.
I believe. Now, I could be wrong on that, but I think that's going off of memory.
Yes.
But I mean.
The point is, any further, he's the oldest.
Right.
And he's got to do it 4 times.
He's got to do it 4 times.
That's a lot. But he is an amazing guy.
He is.
He focuses. His determination's incredible. You know, in some ways, he's kind of a perfect golfer because he gets as much out of his game with efficiency and good management and great, mechanics that are his, that he repeats, and he knows himself so beautifully. I mean, he has no business really anymore beating these guys.
No.
He kind of conceded that yesterday. He said, I've got to play my best now to win, which is a big, tall order.
That is.
Before I could maybe get away with 80% of my game, but no, I need that extra 20%. And how often does a golfer have that?
No.
And especially as you get older, maybe there's a little wear and tear, eroding body, maybe eroding nerves. So if he gets there, to me, that's going to be right up there with one of the greatest records in the history of golf.
Couldn't agree more.
I don't care if it's, over 50 league. I don't care if it's PGA Tour champions, senior golf, whatever you want to say.
It's so competitive. People don't give it enough credit.
I totally agree. I love watching those guys. I love their stories because they're at a stage in life when they can kind of sum things up. And even Bernhard, who was really taciturn when he was playing the regular tour. And, it was great. To be around him and admire him, but he didn't share a lot of knowledge, and now he does.
He does.
And he's got so much of it. And I find him to be kind of another, in his second life here, sort of a warm, Yoda.
Right.
And worth listening to whenever he talks.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I was doing a shoot with Scott McCarron for Golf Channel, and we were talking about Bernhard, and he said the thing about him is the work ethic he still does and still puts into the game at his age. It's not like he's riding off into the sunset. And he said, when Scott came out there and was a force, and Scott is.
He's a force, and he's a long hitter.
I think Scott at his best can beat Bernhard at his best.
He's got at least 10 more miles an hour, probably 12.
But Bernhard finds a way with guile and with but he said the one thing was he watched Bernhard start doing some of the things that Scott was doing in the workout room. Mm-hmm. So Bernhard's very observant, and he's watching. He's like, hey, Scott's
assessing.
doing that, and then he.
How do I keep up with the cutting edge?
Exactly, and I think that's another recipe for reason why he is so successful. Is he leaves no stone unturned. And the non-anchoring putting, statistically, this is the best he's ever putted.
I know, yes.
I mean, when you lead in greens in regulation and you lead in putting, it's pretty easy that you're going to hold some trophies. And,
the putting is, obviously we know about his history with putting. He's had the yips either 3 or 4 times.
I think 3 times.
And how many people come back from it once?
Once.
I mean, he's amazing in that regard. And he's also had to adapt from the anchoring to the non-anchoring. Yeah. And I know there's controversy about that. To me, Bernhard's integrity is unquestioned.
Yeah. Oh, you can't
question
that.
I just think to that point that you say, he's always learning. He's figured out a way for himself with tremendous work and tremendous study and tremendous, reflection on something I can make work. And he's done it. And I think you got to give him credit for it. It's his. It's not necessarily a method that's going to be taught to anybody else. Everything he does is personal to him.
Yeah.
The finish is weird. I'm not saying it's an ugly swing, but it's
very effective.
At impact, it's right there every time. And he's so good at getting the most out of, a day when maybe he doesn't have it, and making a score. He just got the secret almost more than anybody else does.
Well, we'll see. I do. One last thing.
Sure.
Does he pass Irwin?
I don't think so, and not because for lack of effort or lack of talent. I just think time is going to run out. But Cologuard surprised me. He played a perfect Open championship, Senior Open. I believe it was where was that? Royal Lytham?
Might have been Lytham, yeah.
Yeah, forgive me, but he won by 4 or 5.
Right.
It was, and you know, that's the firmness where Watson almost won it at Turnberry. That's where an older golfer can hold himself almost equal with the longer hitters. He's got to do that on the Champions Tour now with an A game.
Right.
It's hard to do. Yeah, I think he can do it.
I don't think he's going to get there either.
If he gets what you said earlier, if he gets 2 more this year?
2 more this year, we'll revisit this.
Yes, yeah.
All right. Okay. Bernhard Langer, he's ageless, as is my friend Jaime Diaz.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining
Aged.